Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Insights of a Headhunter. Today, we have a special guest with us, Richard van der Blom, and we will be talking about how to optimize employee advocacy on LinkedIn. So, I met Richard 2 months ago at the UpLift Live conference for LinkedIn enthusiasts in the UK. So I'm very happy to have you on the show, and it's a full circle now. All the speakers have been on this show, so I'm very happy to chat with you. And for anyone who doesn't know you, could you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for having me, Tiina. It feels like I'm always late to the party, but thank you for inviting me. My name is Richard van der Blom. I've been active on. I started my own agency in 2009, and I deliver LinkedIn training and consultancy with a team of 15 people worldwide to mid-sized companies, corporate companies. So that's basically what I do.
So it's really large multinational organizations, and your work is based on research. If you haven't heard about the algorithm report on LinkedIn, you must have been living under a rock. So this is where it comes from. So tell me how you started with that that research. So employee advocacy.
Yeah, well, the research basically came because some of our corporate clients ask us questions about reach, about why some posts would not fly on LinkedIn while others would like really take off, and they didn't got the hang of it. They didn't know whether it was the format, the way how they wrote, or maybe the pictures or whatever. And until then, we always advised our clients based on gut feeling, on intuition, on how we managed to be successful. But there were no stats or facts or things. So I first started to look for it. And except from LinkedIn itself, I couldn't find any resources. And then, I had this small project team that were willing to like do some research. It was summer, it was July, August 2019. We did it for the first time. I posted on LinkedIn. These were 8 pages. People were really enthusiastic. It was my best performing post in that year. And I still didn't have the idea to redo it every year. And then about 6-7 months later, I got a lot of requests from people. Are you going to do this year another research? Because we've seen some changes. And that's when it occurred to me, like, hey, maybe we can do this like on an annual basis and inform people on what's happening with regards to LinkedIn features, algorithm, and how to become successful. So it's actually started with questions from our clients.
Okay, so that makes sense. And since it's always changing, you need to update it, because what was true in 2019, it's not the same anymore.
No, definitely. And also I haven't seen LinkedIn making changes so rapidly and developing so many new features than the last 18 months. So I think even it makes sense like to have smaller updates every, I don't know, 4 or 5 months maybe, because LinkedIn is really evolving rapidly, especially with the rise of AI. And also with more and more people obviously starting to publish content on LinkedIn, which is a good thing.
Yeah, and also companies are joining. So when we talk about employee advocacy, it's not only on LinkedIn, but let's focus on that part, because there is so much more than you can do offline as well. What would you say are the best practices, and why?
Wow, there are many bad practices. There are many pitfalls. So I think it's really important for the success of your employee advocacy program that you understand what's in it for them, your employees, instead of only communicating what's in it for us. Because 8 out of 10 companies that reach out to us and want us to support them with our employee advocacy program, they only talk about the added value, the goals, the benefits for the company. We want to reduce marketing costs. We want to reduce hire costs. We want to increase visibility. And then we ask, okay, but why would your employees care? Why would they be involved? What's in it for them? And then they go like, oh, well, yeah, well. So understanding how we can move employees, how we can stimulate them to become more active is key, which also brings me to the second best practice or tip. And that is that not every employee is going to be involved in the same way. Okay, so you might have a few that really want to be seen as a thought leader on LinkedIn. They're willing to like make an effort to spend hours a week on LinkedIn, to create their own newsletter, to have their own LinkedIn live or audios. But don't make the mistake and think that everybody needs to be like this, because it's not one size fits all. You have probably the biggest population in your company. They don't want to publish, they don't want to become hyperactive or active, but they are willing to like or comment or repost if you make it simple to them to do so. So having what we called a different approach for each type of ambassador is also key.
Yeah, I think it's so important, because you don't have to replace the marketing department, but it makes my work as a headhunter so much easier if companies have the employee strategy in place and that it's implemented, because I can just say, go and look at the people's LinkedIn profiles. If they are resharing and you see real people, they are having team activities. That's what people want to see when they join a company, new company. They want to see and feel the culture, what is waiting for them.
I totally agree. And I also think that all independent research shows that companies who really master employee advocacy in a good way on LinkedIn, they benefit from increased brand awareness, increased visibility towards both potential clients, but also potential hires. So actually, it's very easy to create multiple touching points and a bigger brand awareness if you know how to stimulate, motivate, and facilitate your employees.
And it's so necessary, because creating the brand, it takes a lot of money. And if you are a niche company, a smaller company, you don't have the same resources as the big brand. So what would you say would be some good tips for let's say smaller organizations?
Well, first of all, what I noticed, maybe you've seen this too. What I noticed is that a lot of marketing or company owners, they don't even know that visibility of corporate organic posts, so posts from the company page, is very poor on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn, the feed, check it for yourself. They favorite, they prioritize updates from people over companies. So that's always the first thing. Like don't rely totally on your company brand or your organic content strategy, because it's really challenging now to create an impact and to become visible with that content. So if you in a small company have 8 people that are willing to engage with that content, the easiest way, just repost. You already see an increase in views, in engagement, and in potential conversion. If we invite those 8 people and if we train those 8 people that they feel comfortable to create their own content on LinkedIn, aligned also with company goals. So we're always looking for synergy between what is your individual interest, your individual goal, and what is the company goal, and where can we meet in the middle. The more people you get on that path, the bigger the visibility, the increase in the visibility of a company will become on LinkedIn. And another interesting stat is that people, whether these are clients or potential hires, they respond 12 times more to an individual update that might be exactly the same as a company update, but they respond 12 times more to an individual over responding to a company. They don't engage with company posts. So if you have your job posting or this really amazing post on your corporate page, you have 12 times less responses, because people choose to react to individuals, because then we know who we are talking to.
Yes.
So those stats are very important to understand. Why do we need to leverage a network of our employees?
Yeah, and I also see that large multinationals, how little reactions they get to their posts, like no comments, almost some couple of reactions, but still we're talking about the biggest brand. So if you see it from a person, yeah, that's why people want to react. But what I also see,
Tiina, I worked this morning with a company. I had a chat with a company marketing department, global company. They have 5 million followers on their company page.
yeah,
The average likes they get is 200. So
and how many comments?
The average comments they get is around 10 to 15 on 5 million followers. But even the 200 comments, if you looked at it in percentage, it's so low. And they were very like even frustrated with it. And I told them, on average, if you have 5 million followers, still not even 2% of your followers will see your post. So imagine the smaller companies having, for example, let's say 5,000 followers. Your visibility is not above 2%. So that means that you will not have more than 100 people that you reach. So, and also that is still a misconception, because a lot of people, especially in smaller companies, they think that if they publish on a company page, it goes out to all their followers, which is not the case. 98% will never see a post. So those are important stats to take into account.
Yeah, and what I also wonder about is how you can make the employees more active, meaning like if even people who work there don't like the post, don't comment on it, why should other people care? So what would be your tips? Because if even their own people don't care, who else would want to work there? Like this doesn't look good.
No, but this is something that we hear a lot. And the most important question is, what is the reason why they don't engage? Because it's way too easy to say like, they are not engaged, they are not ambassadors because they are not engaging with our content, because maybe they don't even see the content. You know what I mean? Maybe if you just publish on your corporate page and expect your colleagues to see the post, go from their email into LinkedIn, check the post, repost it, comment, which all takes time, and time is our most precious asset. So a lot of your colleagues will not be on LinkedIn daily. If they are, they will probably not see your post if they're not included in the 2%. And then you have the third reason. Maybe they don't have the time because they're not convinced about the added value of engaging. So first, we always analyze with our clients, like, what is the reason that your employees are currently not engaged? Because if they don't see it, then we might need to have a tool where we can just send the post to the employees, and with one click, they can like reshare it or comment on it, okay? So that means that even though they're not daily on LinkedIn, even though they're very busy, we can just send them the post and say, hey, like, comment, or repost, whatever you like. If it's a matter of we are active on LinkedIn, but we don't feel comfortable in reposting and commenting, probably you need to have a little inspiration session amongst your employees to show them how can they comment, what do they need to do when they repost. So best tips, guidelines also help people to feel more comfortable in doing so. And then we have a bigger problem, because if the employees see the content but they don't want to engage, then we have a pain point, because then we need to ask, why don't they want to engage? Mainly two reasons. First, because the content that they see is not something they want to share with a network, for example, because they think it's not relevant. I get a lot of requests from clients, people in my network, can you reshare our vacancy? Can you reshare our job posting because you have a big network? I never do that. I might leave a comment because that also increases the visibility, but I'm not going to reshare vacancies or job posting because that's not why people are following me. So that might also be the case with your employees. They just might think, oh, I'm not a job posting from a company. I'm not in HR. I'm not a recruiter. So I don't see this like valuable for my network. Or the second reason is that they don't feel like an ambassador of the company. So they are not willing to accept that role, which is also possible. Okay. And that's a completely different story.
Yeah, so there are several reasons. A technical question: what would be the best way? Is it resharing with your thoughts, your own thoughts, or just resharing?
So when it comes to how someone can be the best ambassador of the company page, there's only one question you need to ask yourself, okay? Who needs to benefit from my engagement? Let me give you an example. If I see a vacancy, a recruiter in my company is sharing a job posting, and I want to help this person to get maximum exposure in my network, but I don't want to be involved myself, the best thing to do is repost instantly.
Yeah.
So you don't type anything, you just repost instantly, which means you're letting LinkedIn know, please make this post from my colleague recruiter visible to the people that follow me, okay? So it's literally passing the post. If someone in my network wants to respond, they respond to the original author, in this case, the recruiter. So job done. Now, for example, if there is a post on the company page about an event that you're going to have, and I'm a speaker in that event, okay, so I see my company is creating a post about the event, but I play an active role. So now I also want to benefit from the increased visibility. Then the best thing to do is a comment. I leave a comment and I say, thank you for sharing this amazing event. I'm looking forward to inspire our audience with my topics on. By commenting, you make the original post visible to your network, but also LinkedIn will highlight your comment. So increase reach for the company page post, but also increase visibility for yourself.
And sharing it with your own thoughts, would that be an option?
Again, it depends, because what happens if I share this vacancy from that the recruiter post? If I share it with my own thoughts, it now becomes my own post. So if somebody in my network has a question about this job and they leave a comment, the original recruiter can no longer see this comment. So now it becomes my task to follow up. So if I don't want to play an active part, I never share with my thoughts, because then it becomes my own content and I need to direct all the traffic back to the original author, which a lot of people in the end will not do. So I almost never share a post with my own thoughts. Never. Either I repost or I comment.
Yeah, that's a really good thing to say, or people to remember, because it doesn't make a big difference when you just hit the buttons, but like you said, to the algorithm and what is your purpose, it makes a difference. Let's go over to the comments. We have people from all over the world joining us, from the US, from UK, from we have Stella joining us also from Oman.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, she's saying that makes sense regarding synergy in the company. So it has to be a win-win, both for the people and for the company. And
yeah, of course. This morning, to give you a funny example, this morning I had a chat with a marketing manager from a big company where they were in the process of making employees more active on LinkedIn, but the CEO requested that every single post from employees were in the same brand colors and with the logo of the company. Imagine. So you're asking your employees to create posts, but before they publish, the visuals need to be adapted to the brand guideline. There needs to be a logo in the visual. And this marketing manager said, I don't think this is the best way. Am I right? And I said, no, it's not the best way, because for two reasons. First of all, you kill every authenticity. You kill the authenticity because everything now becomes almost like an ad branded by the company.
exactly.
Second, it also decreases your reach, your engagement, because as soon as people see that your profile is actually being hijacked, used by marketing for business purposes, you kill your own engagement and you kill your own trust with your network. So it's a very bad idea, but you see that still companies are struggling. And the risk, I understand. What happens if we have multiple people becoming active on LinkedIn? Because they're going to make mistakes. They're going to create posts that maybe they shouldn't have, or they're going to make statements that maybe they shouldn't have. I mean, this is learning by doing. So you need to prepare that sometimes you have little fuck ups, no? But to kill the engagement at the start by saying every post needs to go through marketing is a huge no-go.
Like you said, it kills all the ambition and all the inspiration. We also have awesome Gus here. Lovely to see you. He was also at the UpLift Live conference and gave the best intro. I really loved the intro that he gave to you. And he said a few likes or employees sharing content is not enough. It takes a consistent, I think the word is consistent, sustained effort to turn followers into brand ambassadors and give them a reason to become one of them.
It's a great remark from Gus, and I remember, I don't know if he's referring to that. I remember there was a question at the event in Birmingham from the audience about employee advocacy, and I remember that I answered, and it's good maybe that I repeat the answer. Another pitfall for companies is that they steer their resources, time and energy to the wrong population of the employees. So in general, okay, so I hope nobody feels insulted now, but in general, you have about 10 to 15% real ambassadors in every company. 10 to 15%. They are already there. They're willing to like help you, support you, and grow together. Then you have about 50%, 50, who's in the middle. They don't know if they want to have this role because they don't know about LinkedIn. They don't know what is asked from them. They don't know what kind of effort they need to make. So they need to be inspired, trained, and they're probably going to hold a little bit. Okay, they're not going to jump directly on the wagon. And then you have, and this is very important, 30, 35, maybe 40% of your population that never ever will become your online ambassador. Okay, they never will, because those are the people who exchange money for time. So they just come to work because you pay them. Those are the people who don't see the connection with them and LinkedIn, or them and being ambassador, or those are just the people who don't feel comfortable using social media. That's also possible. Now, I've seen so many employee advocacy programs like go like flat in the first month because we want to include all the people we want to include all salespeople. We want to include all recruiters. So aim for the 10, 15% early adopters, okay? In your pilot, all your efforts, time, energy, guidance needs to be on them, because if they become successful, the middle part, 50%, they will become so enthusiastic about it because now they see that people are moving. And a lot of them will now ask, I want to be in the next group. I want to get training. How can I help? And
Yes.
forget about the 30, 35% at the end, because they will never be your ambassador. And that's good. You know, not everybody needs to play this role.
That is so true. Like, have the expectations correctly. And like you said with the stats, you will never reach 100%, and that shouldn't even be the goal.
I really think, let's say you have a company with 200 employees, okay? That doesn't mean that all 200 employees are on LinkedIn. So let's say we have, 100 on LinkedIn. If you get 20 to 30 of them, so I'm talking 10 to 15% in total, to become active in a very good way on LinkedIn, creating synergy, job done. I mean, that will already do the job. And every single one that comes after them, every additional employee that comes, celebrate huge success, but don't expect that 40, 50% of your total employees will become online ambassadors, because it's not realistic.
Yeah, and those who join, it's a great bonus, but it's not
Exactly.
a must. Yeah,
exactly.
We have another speaker from UpLift Live, Jillian, joining us from the US. Great to see you here. And we have a question here from Ryan. I don't know.
Yeah, Ryan just sees it this moment. He's like, I don't care about employee advocacy. I just want to know something about the algorithm. Are carousels still trending down in performance? Yes, Ryan, they are. So we need to become more like creative and find different things and different formats and mix it up a bit. Reach is down for 95% of LinkedIn members at the moment. So, don't worry about it. Reinvent yourself. And the only KPI, also for employee advocacy, the only KPI you really should have a look on is conversion. Do I still get invites from my target audience? Do I still get direct messages from my target audience? Does my phone ring? Do I get emails because I'm active on LinkedIn? That's the only KPI that matters.
Yeah. Another speaker from UpLift Live joining us from the UK, Bob and Richard. You can't censor people's own content. Well, there are companies who try to do that, but
yeah, and it's not even censoring, because I think in my example, the CEO doesn't realize that by he probably actually thinks he's helping his employees to have the right branding color, the right,
yes,
but he doesn't realize that by doing this, he ruins the authenticity and he ruins the performance of their post. So if he does realize, it's a different discussion, because then somebody needs to wake him up and say, like, this is not how it works. But often it's companies trying to facilitate their employees and just taking it 2-3 steps too far.
Yeah. And
it's the same with branded banners on the profile. When we work with companies and they go and say, yeah, we created this one banner and we send it to all our employees to have the same banner because and I go, no, we don't want that. We want authenticity. We want different banners. We want people to have something. So, and they think that they're actually doing a good job. So that's also a thing that we need to ask first. Do you understand the result of everyone having the same banner?
Yeah, sometimes I see the whole company having the same banner. I'm like, are you all twins? Like, yeah. You must think something differently. And I would be scared if I join your company. Do I have to give up my rights to have my own background photo, or do I have to use the same banner? I don't want to sign up for that. We have another question for Joel. How much insights into the private life should a personal brand give? Personal stories seem to perform very good on LinkedIn. What's a healthy balance between professionalism and authenticity?
Yeah, it's a very good question, and a lot of people struggle with this because, as Joel writes here, personal stories perform very well. They're the best performing type of content at the moment on LinkedIn. Yet some people don't feel comfortable at all to share anything related to their private life. For example, I can take it very far. I posted about my family. I posted about things I experienced that have no link with my work. Yet I see that a lot of people respond because it resonates with them. And I think everyone should find their own balance where you feel comfortable, but saying, like, no, LinkedIn is a professional platform, there's no room for personal stories, that might have done the job in 2017, but that's not going to work now. So I think we should challenge ourselves to show something of your personal life, maybe with a clear link to your work, because I guarantee you that you will be surprised with the positive impact that has on your network. It really surprised me every time I share a personal story, how many of my clients and potential clients respond because they can relate to the story, because they like the story. And so there is no ratio. Like, I cannot say one personal post and then 4 like more business posts. Also realize that a personal story does not directly contribute to conversion. People are going to like you, people are going to follow you, people are going to engage, but it's not the best content if you talk about pure conversion to business. Okay, so you need to balance it, because you want to be likable, you want to humanize your brand, but you also need a professional content where people actually can convert.
Yes, what you're selling or what you're offering.
Exactly.
So we have a lot of questions here, but I see the time is running out. So where could people find you? What is the best way to connect with you, and where?
Well, that's not a big surprise, I guess. So it's still on LinkedIn, so people can follow me there. I still have, I think, about 80 connection slots open because I almost reached 30,000, which is the limit. So please send me a personal invite, because that probably gives you like a benefit, and I will much faster accept it. If you have a question, send it to me in DM. I will respond to it today or tomorrow. And yes, thank you for having me, Tiina.
Yes, it's wonderful. And today I'm celebrating 3 years of LinkedIn Lives. So I'm so happy to have you as my guest, and see you
Amazing.
soon, everyone on LinkedIn. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.